In the far distant days of October 2012, when Facebook hit 1 billion users, 55% of them were using it every day. At 2 billion, 66% are. Its user base is growing at 18% a year, which you will have thought impossible for a business already so enormous. Facebook's biggest rival for log-in users is YouTube, owned by its deadly rival Alphabet, the company formerly known as Google. The second place with 1.5 billion monthly users. Three of the net's four biggest apps or services, or whatever one wants to call them, are WhatsApp, Messenger, and Instagram. With 1.2 billion, 700 million users, respectively, and more. Those three entities have something in common. They are all owned by Facebook. No wonder the company is fifth most valuable in the world, with a market capitalization of 445 billion. And this was just back in 2017. So imagine these numbers today, how big they are. And of course, the coalitions, purchases, and sales that were made between that period. Today I have a new paper for you. A new paper called You Are the Product, because are we? Let's talk about the US-based French philosopher René Girard. His big idea was something. It was called mimetic desire. Human beings are born with a need for food and shelter. Once these fundamental necessities of life have been acquired, we look around us at what other people are doing and wanting, and we copy them. So the idea is that imitation is at the root of all behavior. Girard was a Christian, and his view of human nature is that it is fallen. We don't know what we want or who we are. We don't really have values or beliefs of our own. What we have instead is an instinct to copy and compare. We are Homo mimeticus. Man is the creature who does not know what to desire and who turns to others in order to make up his mind. We desire what others desire because we imitate their desires. For example, while we look on Facebook, it is said that it was something people were looking at. It was built on people's need to copy others. Facebook first spread by word of mouth. Social media proved to be more important than it looked because it's about our natures. We are keen to be seen as we want to be seen, and Facebook is the most popular tool humanity has ever had with which to do that back in the day when it first arrived. The view of human nature implied by these ideas is pretty dark. If all people want to do is go and look at other people so that they can compare themselves to them and copy what they want, if that is the final deepest truth about humanity and its motivations, then Facebook doesn't really have to take too much trouble over humanity's welfare, since all the bad things that happen to us are things we are doing to ourselves. Is this true? For all the corporate uplift of its mission statement, Facebook is a company whose essential premise is misanthropic. It is perhaps for that reason that the social media channel, more than any other company of its size, has a thread of malignity running through its story. The high profile tableau version of this has come in the form of incidents such as very renamed crimes and non renamed crimes. But this is one of the areas where Facebook seems to me relatedly blameless. People live streams these terrible things and commit others over the side because it has the biggest audience. But what do you think of this? We also have Instagram, a social media platform on which people or content creators, they really focus on the feed, its aesthetics, and we want everything to be attractive to the eye. Even though we can be messy on the inside in our daily life, but it is important to have a layout pretty to the human eye. And even though we can believe the theory that we are copying others, let me know your perspective because we are also able to compare and to listen to other perspective and read other perspective. Because if one of our deepest desires is to copy others, that will mean that the biggest ideology in the moment, the biggest concept, biggest social media platform at the moment, we will be one to be part of it, independently of what we truly think or are. And that could be something dangerous. This fragmentation created the conditions for the second strand of Facebook's culpability in the Anglo American political disasters back in the day. We also have the fake news and post truth, and they were made possible by the retreat from a general agora of public debate into separate ideological bunkers. In the open air, fake news can be debated and exposed on Facebook. If you are a member of the community being served the lies, you're quite likely never to know what they are in circulation. We are facing the same problem on TikTok. I think this is the platform that overcame Facebook in terms of spreading fake news, conspiracy theories, and others. And since the platform was built out just to also show you short term videos, it's like you don't have enough information to actually build a concept and an opinion around what you just heard because you're immediately going through the next video automatically. So it makes it harder nowadays to actually separate what is true and what is false. But the key to understanding this is to think about what advertisers want. Advertisers would like you to watch their ads. Advertisers would like you to actually go into their profile, see what they're selling. A lot of them for you to become a buyer. But also, before even Facebook, for your ads to appear um, on Google searches or on different independent websites, you needed to make some kind of bids online. So the publishers already know this, but this isn't like common outside that area. So we don't know where this is going. We don't know what the social costs and consequences will be. We don't know what will be the next area of life to be hollowed out, the next business model to be destroyed, the next company to go the way of Polaroid, or the next business to go the way of journalism, or the next set of tools and techniques to become available to the people who uses social media. We just don't know what's next, but we know it's likely to be consequential and that a big part will be played by the world's biggest social network. We have independent social media platforms. Some of them say that they're better, some of them might be the same thing, and some of them might be worse. But is there such a healthy social media platform? That is a genuine question that I have. Because the social media fuels by people, and people are the group of integrations inside the app or the platform that you cannot control what they're seeing, what they're thinking, what they're publishing specifically. So I think there's always a an inch to disaster on that way, because it fuels by social connections, it fuels by socially spread content. Even though the content is yours, even though the content might be from another people, it just needs to feel that way. And that's the way that can lead to disaster. That's the crucial thing about Facebook. The main thing which isn't understood about its motivation. It does things because it can. Motivation of that time doesn't work in the Hollywood version of life. So we have justifications about connection and community. But is this really reasonable? Whatever comes next, it will take us to those two pillars that will be growth and monetization. Growth can only come from connecting new areas of the planet. So that is a must. And also, if a company decides to control what to show you, that probably could be also against some laws, and people will actually protest against that because we want our freedom. But our freedom can also become with some asterisks of what's freedom to each one of us and what can we publish online. What though if none of anything happens? What if advertisers don't reveal, governments don't add, users don't quit? What would happen? We should look again at the figure of 2 billion monthly active users, even more nowadays. The total number of people who have any access to the internet has probably defined as possible to include the slowest dial-up speeds and crickets developing war mobile services, as well as people who have access but don't use it. That could be 3.5 billion, even more. The other thing that could happen at the level of individual users is that people stop using social media platforms because it makes them unhappy. That could be also a possibility. When positive expressions reduce, people produce fewer positive posts and more negative posts. When negative expressions were reduced, the opposite pattern occurred. And this shows us that emotions and feelings are really, really important and also powerful in order to influence others. So if we cannot also through emotions and feelings, this is a powerful tool. And then there's the way that the publications and the content are shown to the users. We have access to it through mobile phones, through tablets, through computers, intelligent watches, and others. It's like, even though we don't want to be connected, we ended up being so. It's such a connected world that we cannot run away from it. But would you like to run away from it? I think that there's like this usage and misusage in between, overlapping between each other, that we cannot distinguish which is right and which is wrong. How much time is it healthy for me to be online? How much time is it healthy for me to listen to a podcast? How much time is it healthy for me to read an online PDF? Is that when we go sit and make the calculations, It's always a dependable factor, always. So even though they will have like estimates, we really don't know the long-term consequences of it. When the boom of the internet, it started at the 2000s, so it couldn't even imply health issues in the long run. But we don't have any chronic cases, or not like a bunch of that yet. In order for us to sit and say like, hey, perhaps this is the pattern, perhaps we should do like something about it, perhaps we need to change the way we want to copy others and just have people sharing stuff again as ugly as they seem to be, as not aesthetically pleasing as it tends to be. Just share stuff and that's it. It this takes me back like at the beginning of Instagram, when people just having a burger, they took the photo that made it a burger and just received some likes, and you just wanted to share with the rest of your connections, closest connection. It was like, okay, it's a burger. It looks like a burger. I didn't put any filters to it. I didn't edit to the color grading of it. I didn't put any other thing on the picture. It was just a burger. That's why we were like more interested in having like a better camera grading and quality picture for us to share, but nothing more. And now we want that burger to tell us something. We want that burger to connect emotionally to other people, because it's not only a burger now. It's a burger that has a story behind. And now we have storytelling, now we have copywriting, and now we have SEO. So now that I just told you what that burger means to me, I'm going to put the right keyword set, and then I'm going to spread it to the world, because I need that story to connect with as much people as possible in order to see that burger, to connect with the story behind the burger, and therefore to view me. People need to be seen. People want to be aspirational, and people want to influence others. I'm not going to put everyone in here, but I know a lot of people that will like that, because people want to become the aspiration. It's not only the way that how can you inspire me, is that how can I become you? How can I aspire to be you? How can I see that burger as you saw it? Even though they don't know if the person behind actually just posting that in order to create that effect, for you to be invested and for you to click on me in order to see that, in order to catch, to grab your attention, because that's what more valuable today, to catch your attention, to catch those minutes of time, because nowadays we're busier and busier and busier than ever. Still, each minute it's valuable. That's why short form content has been so successful. We don't have time. The economy doesn't have, so we don't have time. So each minute that we spend online is valuable for these social media platforms, because it can convert with money. And that's why the tools that go out in the market that will make apparently our life easier, tool hacks, do it at home, 5-minute tutorials. That's why they were so successful, and that's why they are so successful, because we don't have time, and time matters. So the company that acquires your time and the minutes of your attention are the ones that are going to succeed, because they also can be benefiting on the problems that the economies are giving us nowadays, the lack of time. And if we have lack of time, we cannot properly identify what's best for us in the usage of free time. We cannot properly pick a great hobby or a more suitable hobby for us because we don't have enough time in order to analyze that even. And we get in the loop. And now that I have my 30-minute break, what I can do, just it is more suitable for me to watch short-term content, even though whatever appears, because in 30 minutes I need to get back to work. So I don't care whatever I watch. I need it to be as digestible as possible, as short as possible, to make me laugh, to make me just pass the time. I don't want to think too much because I need to get back to work. So I don't want the content to be exhausted, mentally exhausted. I don't want to overanalyze because I'm already coming through an environment that is already demanding a lot from me. So we have cognitive burnouts. And when people are tired, when people are exhausted, they are more open to watch whatever they show us on the screen. We are vulnerable. We are influential. But those two attributes aren't bad. What's bad is what others are doing with those attributes of yours, the usage they're doing with that knowledge. So, which was the last ad you watched? What did they want to sell you? Did any of the words they say on the ad, any of them resonated with you, or was an entirely mismatch? Let me know one of those ads or the 3 latest ads that have been like rolling and rolling and rolling to your screen lately. Because I think this is important. I think that, yeah, that's why the algorithms were also designed in order to properly address what you need. And yes, it could be a benefit of enterprises as well. So if this video ever came across your feed, I don't know what happened. Because I'm telling you the entire opposite. Probably some people want the information to be shown to you. So I know this isn't the ideal information, so people would like to be on everybody's algorithm. So if this actually arrives to your feed and to your recommendations, to the algorithm, parabens. Parabens, because it will be odd. It will be really odd. So if you're here, thank you so much. I have a series of videos that tend to be connected one to each other. So if you watch one, when you watch the other, you're probably going to complement any of this information. So thank you so much, and see you and read you in another video. Bye-bye.